It's lit.
No, this ain't Lil Tucci.
Literally lit. That's what we're dealing with.
This is man named Juece. This is the man named Juece.
Disclaimer, we're all Canadian, so that's a wrap.
So
alright, man,
knows.
enough with the fuckery, though.
Alright.
Hello, welcome. Yo, Toronto, turn up with the kids. This is Juece. To the right of me, I got
Neeks.
To the left of me, I got
Dizzy.
And this is the DemOnes podcast. You're here for the inaugural episode.
Hey.
We're just some young kids from Toronto with Afro-Caribbean backgrounds.
Yeah,
and we're just trying to discuss the things that we face in our community, you know? Through a different lens. We see, like, in this generation, we get a lot of fucking trivial things, a lot of shallow topics, and people, you know, skim over things. We just want to get into things a little bit deeper and you know, give a voice in the audience for those type of people on the next plane. But yeah, I'm not trying to get too deep. This is the DemOnes podcast. And just to kick it off, I'm smoking my marijuana. It's legal, you know, back in Canada.
You're smoking your cannabis. That's the appropriate term for it.
The appropriate term.
She's going to correct you on all of that. So you better fix up, man.
Get the lingo right, bro.
You better
yo,
fix up.
turn up, nigga. The energy's up.
You gotta
The energy's
up,
up. We in here, dog. Fix this. Alright, it's cannabis. Okay, the energy's up. Listen, this is our first episode. Fucking rock with us. Teed out, we're here.
You know
I want to holler at you guys for a minute. Yeah. First topic. I was talking to one of my homegirls the other day, and I posted something on Gram, and it was just like, yo, how backwards the dating scene is right now for our generation. Yeah. Like, everybody's fucking, nobody wants to give no emotional attachment. Everybody's scared to catch feelings and claim a shorty or whatever. Everybody has a side thing. All these fucking insecure people and all this shit. So, pretty much, like, what we deduce is, like, it's so backwards, like, I'm all turned off. Like, I know me and Diz was talking about this last week. Like, I'm turned off from even dating. Neeks was even saying last week that she's off of niggas too. Like, she's off of the thing. So, what I'm trying to say is, I feel personally, one, like, dating is done. But the reason why dating is done is because I feel like monogamy is dead. So I don't know how you guys feel about that. But that's what I'm feeling like. I'm feeling like the idea, the traditional idea,
the concept of it,
and even like marriage, all that kind of shit. Like, people getting married. Everybody has a side thing. You hear music, they're glorifying. You know, my side bitch, my side niggas. Look at all the rap. Like, that's why people are scared to hold one shorty down. That's how I personally feel. Like, monogamy is done. Like, everybody's just doing their thing, flinging cock, pussy, left, right, and center. Like,
you know what I mean? You know, like, I actually agree with you. Like, just looking at the climate of everything when it comes to dating. I was actually talking to a friend of mine the other day, and I was talking about how, like, even our music is it's very anti-love. A lot of our music today is very anti-love. You barely hear like love tunes coming from a lot, especially in hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, the advent of R&B is coming back, and the females are killing it. Shout out to the ladies, but from when we were growing up to, like, this generation, I'm seeing, like, yo, it's all, like, you know, finesse a person, never give your heart to anybody, very, like, surface level relationships that are for material gain and all these things, and I think that's just influencing the whole vibe in our community, to be honest. Like, for me personally, what I can see is, like, if we're talking, like, music, it's like, funny thing is, like, so I could touch, like, Summer Walker's album. What was it called again? The one that she's on the front. I don't even know what it's called. But that album, when it dropped, I listened to it and I said, yo, it made me, for the first time, as a nigga, I felt insecure. I was like, what the fuck? The fuck she singing about? What do you mean not gonna tell your nigga? Like, what are you guys doing over there? Like, I'm like, what the fuck? You're feeling like, y'all doing this too? This is fucked up. So what I'm trying to say is, like, for the first time, like, I really, like, peeped, like, what the effect of, like, the rappers I've been listening to, like, the type of music we've been taking and things they've been saying. How we just been digesting that as the norm, and that's become the norm for the young men. And now it's like, with the feminist movement and with, like, how we're moving now with equality and all this shit, like, females are like, yo, we're off for that. You guys want to be finessing us? You guys want to have multiple shorties? You know what I'm saying? You want to use us for the pussy, so we're going to use niggas for the bag. We're going to have multiple niggas. We're going to juggle the things. Like, I feel it's like the Revenge of the Clones right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit's crazy right now. Like, they're on the same wave. So, like, girls are getting as savage, even more savage than niggas. Like, their biggest role models right now is Cardi B and fucking Megan Thee Stallion, City Girls. Like, this is what they get to hear. This is what they're digesting. This is the kind of vibe they're on. So, like, with both sides of the spectrum, niggas already being on that, and now ladies joining in the fray. Like, the younger generation and people, like, everybody's looking like, well, fuck it. Like, for me, it's like, I don't want to be played.
I don't want to be the joker who's giving my heart to a shorty dog.
Yeah.
And knowing what's going on the road right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm off that. So with me personally, like, I'm like definitely like peeled back a little bit. I'm like more reserved. I'm not really trying to holler at shorty. I'm not really giving my time and energy to that too, because I know like I'm not trying to fuck around with nobody.
So like, would you say like, okay, like us as men, I feel because the playing field, like, I don't want to get into gender norms, but as society stands, the man pursues the woman. So if we're in this space now where women are basically acting like quote unquote men and doing all the finessing and doing all that, how, like, now I feel like, yo, when I speak to a woman, they have a different expectation lens of me as a man. Like, when I go to them, they're looking for shit now. They're looking for what they can gain. They're looking for what you're bringing to the table. They're looking for all these other things. So now as a man, it's even more intimidating, I guess you could say, to even go out there and talk to girls, because they're on it.
Yeah, unless your shit is up. Like, you gotta be up yourself,
you gotta
right?
be up.
You gotta
like,
be really up.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to want to be up, but like, the concept of like building with somebody, I think, is lost now. That's where I think when you say monogamy is dead, it's like, not to say that you want to have a whole heap of people, but yo, there's this concept now where, like, I'm noticing if you ain't up or have some form of clout, it's kind of like you're already leagues behind. You know what I'm saying? And girls are looking for that. And then on the flip side of it, it's like mans don't even really want to like claim a woman. They just kind of want to be like, you're just another one in the rotation. Right. And everybody's just in this rotation type vibe. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I just feel like the dating platform is totally different now, where I don't think people are dating to build anything. I think it's just very temporary fixes.
I feel it's because everybody's insecure and they're afraid of being vulnerable. That's my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the way I view that whole concept, I personally feel like the whole, like, you know, construct of monogamy is exactly that, a construct built from, you know, the next generation and how they chose to deal with things. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's something really like liberal or liberating about like the current dating structure. What I do honestly feel about it, though, it goes a lot of ways, but I feel like the initial direction is being taken just based off like musical influence and like media and like all that stuff. I feel like it's kind of like taking like a more of like a toxic plunge. Like, you know, men have been kind of doing a certain disservice to females for whatever reason for a minute, whatever. And now women, you know, are becoming more and more. We're basically, the way I view it, the sense with like a lot of women right now, speaking as a female, we're regaining our fucking power, bro. That's just the fucking fact of it. Like, we've been told for a very long time, and we've been suppressed for a very long time about so many things, that we are gifts. We should be given to men. We should be catering our lives to men. The structure of this, you live for the purpose of this man and this down the third, and to create a family and to build this and all that shit. But we don't get to talk about the shit that makes us women as well. Like, you know, everyone's aware of the men's sexual shit, you know, the men's sexual appetite, the men's sexual agenda, all that bullshit. No one's heeing and hawing about it too much. Why? Because that's something that, like, as a society, we just accept and we just acknowledge. But when it comes to women, all of a sudden, you know, there's an uproar, and the uproar's not really just coming from men. When it comes to it, it's also coming from a lot of women too, being like, oh, you know, a man's not gonna come here and pull up and call me a slut because, you know, I choose to be sexually liberated and have multiple partners. No, the first person's gonna come for my neck about that shit. It's gonna be another woman. She's gonna be like, oh, yo, she's a fucking suiting. She's gonna be out here talking greasy on my name. She's gonna be, you know, squeezing up with other mans, being like, you know, hearing that mans are sweating me. And she's like, oh, don't deal with her. Yo, last week she told me how she ran top for some next man and this, that, and the third. And then all of a sudden she's like a whole, like, you know, it's fabricated to look like it's a battle against the sexes. But what it really is, the way I view it, it's like, yo, as much as men want to sit here and try and have their personal opinions, because, like, granted, I've heard it all from all types of men being like, oh, you shouldn't be this way. Oh, a dude will never take you seriously or never want to make anything of you if you're out here moving like mans, this, that, and the third. I've heard it all. But for every man that's on that tip, there's a female that stands behind it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you know, the way it's just mapped out in society. So anyways, going back to the whole concept of monogamy is dead, the current dating structure, and me personally, I'm fucking stressed. I hate this shit so much. Like, I'm out here, just living my best life, because this is my concept and this is how I view it. I'm gonna have all the fucking sex my heart desires. Why? Because we don't have these bodies for very long, okay? We're not gonna be young and youthful, okay? Once you hit 30, I'm hearing all types of fucking mess about how everything starts to hit the fan when you're 30. One of my homegirls is being diagnosed with Graves' disease. She's only fucking 32, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all types of shit starts to go wrong with our bodies, from the damage we're doing to ourselves in our 20s, because let's be dead ass, in our 20s it feels like we're going to be 20 forever. We're in this realm of how we're going to feel forever. And then we start aging, and then we don't realize what's really good, and it's like, oh shit. So all those times I'm being shamed for not sitting down on someone's fucking buddy, guess what? I'm going to sit down on some fucking buddy. Why? Because that shit feels nice. That shit feels nice. It makes me feel nice. And guess what? I'm damn good. So homeboy's feeling nice. So what's the issue? Don't sit here and fucking penalize me because, I'm choosing to have sex and do something that's a natural function of being human beings living in this human experience. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like it's fair for all these people to have these views on women for expressing it, or rather that we've always been sexual creatures, but now it's being talked about in a wide scale. It's making people feel very uncomfortable. Why? Because to them it seems like very new information, or they didn't think that women, were into this shit. How are you supposed to have sex with somebody if you didn't think they were sexual people? And how are you getting shocked that they're talking about sex? How, as a man, are you not trying to kang? Do you not want to kang in consent? So now, if you're doing that, you expect a woman to be there to pull up to do that activity with you. So how are you going to turn up and get that thing from that female, and then talk all the dirt about how she's dirt? Oh, she threw it back for me, no problem. So what do you want? So what do you want? So that's my only thing about that. I just feel like the way it's viewed in like a social setting is like kind of toxic, because like they're not really dealing with like the real aspects of like, partnership or like dating in today's current sense. The whole construct of monogamy is dead. I believe that. Why? Because that's a different generation, and their plight was different than ours. And the way the world is structured, with so much radical change, and the view people view their sexuality, being gender fluid, non-binary, two-spirited, all the above, it can't stay that traditional construct. But what we do need to like keep doing is like, I don't know, bro. Like, just fix yourself and heal up. The whole point of opening up to somebody is just to be vulnerable, and like you really can't just cast it off. At this point, I don't care what anyone has to say. I don't care the reason. I've heard this from dudes. I've also heard this from women. Everyone's saying, "Oh, I've been hurt. Oh, this one relationship fucked me up. This and the third." I hear it, but at the same time, does not give you the right to walk with that sloppy behavior and throw it on somebody else and to kind of destroy someone else's insides. You know what I'm saying? At this point, everyone's been hurt, bro. Not a single person can pull up to me and say, I've never been hurt before in my life. Cool story. We've all been hurt. At this point, as a generation, I feel like our main focus is to just figure it out for ourselves. What does that mean? What does it hurt? Hearing that a woman's moving in a certain way, why does that bother me? Why is it triggering me? What's wrong about that with me?
Okay,
how do I, where are women in my, like, what do I feel in my heart about women? That's
what we need to get into.
And vice versa, too, for females.
Exactly, that's what we need to get into.
Because females, we're all walking with a lot of fuck shit about men. Which is this whole new generation of women being like, oh, fuck a nigga, yo, it's about what he can give for you and this, that. Okay, I hear the rah-rah. I understand they're hurt. I've been hurt before, too, but I don't feel like it's right to move in that direction either. I don't feel like you should be using men by giving your body to them to gain material things from them. I feel like you should still be walking into this with the intent to be ready to be open and to be vulnerable with this person and to give it a fair shot. The construct of monogamy is dead, but you figure out what that means for your companionship and your partnership. What are the views? Do you want a title? Is a label throwing you off? Okay, you scrap the labels and then what's underneath? What are you really saying? Can you guys just be good to each other while you guys are both, doing something for each other without throwing if he's not throwing bands on me, I don't want it. Oh, sure, he's not like, with a slim waist and a big butt, I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like the problem is like on both spectrums. Like, people are not honest with each other, one. And two, we have all these unfair things that we're looking for. Like, the problem is when you're talking about, to really touch on what you're saying, it's like, when the niggas is like, it's like what she's saying. You want all this experience, you want all this, like, I want a girl to rub me to some sick top. I want this, that, and throw it back. But so it's like, what we want is an experienced virgin. Yeah. That's what we're looking for, right? And you guys are looking for, like, fucking an intelligent or an articulate hoodman or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. Bullshit, that's what I read on some fucking... Don't quote me. This is Instagram. Don't quote me.
We're fact-checking our Instagram.
This is Instagram. Don't quote me. Instagram.
But, like, on the core, like, on the real, it's like, for me, like, the monogamy is dead. Like, marriage is dying. Even the concept of, like, polygamy is getting touched on more. It's like, one, yes, we're opening up sexually, but we're understanding, like, the concepts of and the depths and, like, of the relationships. Like, the older I get, like, my maturity, like, it's like before I used to be, like, so attached. I want to see my shorty all the time, fuck all the time. And as older as the more I get older, I realize, like, you kind of have to, like, one, depends on who you are. Two, like, you have to find that balance in life, like, where you're doing things for yourself and you can incorporate somebody and allow somebody to be themselves. So the thing is, you have to see somebody for themselves. The biggest problem why monogamy is dead is because people are not honest within themselves and they're not honest within their partner. So if there's no honesty, if you're not honest to yourself, you can't be honest to your partner. So you're losing off the rip. You're losing before you even start anything. You know what I'm saying? So how the fuck we supposed to get together and do none of these things? People are not holding themselves accountable. People are highly egotistical. What can this person do for me? Like,
it's an egotistical concept.
What can you bring to the table? And to be honest, like, the world is fucked up right now too. Like, even for us, like, it's hard to get a house. It's hard to get it's hard to live anywhere. It's hard. You're living inside your mom Duke's crib. So I can't even blame people for having the fucked up mentality of what can you bring for me? What can you do for me? Because everybody's trying to elevate their life.
Everybody's trying to elevate.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's survival at the end of the day, but what it comes down to is, like, people need to stop being so judgmental. People need to start being more honest within each other. And, like, then if monogamy, if like, monogamous relationship is what you desire, and you're one of those people who love to the core, be real. That's who I am.
Yeah.
And walk in.
What the fuck is wrong with that?
Legit walk in with that point.
Mentality.
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people
and the second it's not serving you, cut.
That's a wrap.
And the thing is, a lot of the times people will get into situations because they like or have some form of, I don't want to say bond, but, like, there's an attraction between this person. They feel like, okay, I need to get this person locked down in my corner or whatever the case is. But nobody's actually voicing what they want in the long term. People like each other, jump into the dating and the relationship, and then they're trying to learn each other as they go. And that's not the way you're supposed to do it. So I feel like there's a pro to this monogamy thing, for this monogamy thing being dead, is that, it's forcing people to actually get to know somebody on a particular level. You know what I mean? For women now, they're not just sending, like, they'll send on, but they're not latching to one man no more because they want to know what I like, and they're not being held back. From what I'm seeing, women don't want to be held back by the societal norms that a woman's supposed to be more reserved and whatnot, right?
They shouldn't.
But now, here's the thing. People need to understand that a relationship, whatever you want to call it, is an agreement between the people that are involved. And we shouldn't be letting other norms dictate what's involved. That's why we have things like open relationships and certain stuff like that, right? You know what I mean?
And you want to just jump in what you're saying. Like, I like to break things down. You're talking about relationships. You think about some core words like that go to that, like relate. Like, really relate. Like, these are how two people correspond to each other. So technically, a relationship is, what do I have in relation? Everything. What do I have in relation
with this person?
How do we relate to each other? That's what makes a true bond, a relationship with your friends. You guys are friends. Why? Because you guys have things in common. Exactly. So people have to understand, like, sexually, intellectually, space, all these type of things. You have to realize how you relate. To relate on a true spectrum is to have a true relationship. Like, that's what you have to be searching for.
And I think too, there's a level of fear now. Like I feel there's a level of fear where people are afraid to be hurt. So it's not even the people that have already been hurt. There's people that have already been hurt and don't want it to happen again. And there's people that are hearing about people being hurt. And I don't want to be involved in that in any way. And for me, from my experience, I think men have been in the corner of, I I just don't even want to experience it at all. It's not even that they've been hurt before. It's just it's like we don't even want to experience that. We don't even want to have a woman have that up on us.
It's true.
So you find this concept,
right.
It's this ego thing. Like, you don't even want to claim a woman sometimes because it's like, if I tell her I love her, if I allow, because what a lot of people don't realize, when men love, they love hard.
Of course.
Very hard. And a lot of men don't want to admit that. They love very hard, and they then they're afraid that they're going to get stabbed.
We can't take pain like girls.
That's
the truth.
It's true.
Yo, women
We're
just have a
babies,
higher
bro.
pain threshold.
No, real
you can do
shit.
shorties dirty to the end of the time. They're right there with you. You cheat on a nigga one time, the man's crying, the man's burnt, bro, the man's leaving,
the man's
dusty, the man's
losing his head.
all types of shit. He's gone.
He's done, and they don't really want to deal with that. That's why I feel like, there's a certain level of fear now, and I feel like that fear is being perpetuated to the point where, like, a lot of mans are like, I'm not even trying to be in this right now with no one. Everybody's trying to be in what do you want to call it? A situationship.
Yeah.
Just have people there and whatever. I think that's kind of the new normal. Yeah. And now, I remember a couple days back we were talking, and it was like, everybody has different needs in their lives. And I think and that's leads back to what I was saying. I think learning somebody and actually building a bond with them and knowing all aspects of not only their personality, their mannerisms, and understanding what each other want, it works for a better unit. But you also have to have in mind that love isn't everything. I feel like a lot of people are lost on that. Mm-hmm. And you have to have in mind that, there's a certain level of respect, there's a certain level of a lot of things that we have to incorporate when you're getting into a relationship with somebody. Because a lot of people think this relationship thing is just like, okay, well, if I don't like it, I can bounce. But they don't realize people's emotions are going to be attached to this. Your lives start getting attached. You start interacting with the other person's family. There's a lot of things involved with this
and that's
shit.
another reason why monogamy is dead in this generation. Because, back then, the older generation, I'll give them kudos and their props for that. Yeah. The one thing they did was they didn't leave. They thugged it out. Now, to a fault sometimes, because some people shouldn't have been in relationships they stayed in. But for the most part, they tried. It's like... Like, if I try to give, like, a correlation, it's like most of our relationships are now, like grade school relationships. First argument, you're done. Yeah. It's not, honestly, it's not that small. But it really is that in the spectrum of what a life with somebody is. As soon as we buck up into a little small problem, we bounce. Like, 1 second, it's not, it's not, what is it? What did people like to say? It's not serving. It's not serving you. It's not serving. It's not serving. It's not serving you. Right? You know what I mean? You're just not doing this. Yeah, like as soon as they feel that, they're off it.
Right.
Yeah,
they're moving left.
Or the patent. What were you saying the other day? I want to protect my energy.
Yeah, I'm protecting
my energy.
I'm protecting.
See, no, that's the new norm for women. I'm protecting my energy. Okay, that's the new norm.
Bare crystals, bare sage, bunny out in the house.
I will bust out my crystals right now. That's just so real though. But like the whole concept of that is like to use these things in context. I feel like all of that got super overplayed, and also it turns like a big like marketing thing, like crystals and saging and all this. Protect your energy. Everyone's like, ooh, oh my god, I need crystals. Oh my god, I need sage. Oh my god, I'm walking with so much negative energy. This is crazy. So it's kind of like I hear that completely, but like this is the thing that comes back, and I want to like touch on like both of your points that you just spat. So you guys are laughing because this is actually really funny. It's like a fucking joke thing. But the way I kind of view it, and going back into it, like you guys were saying, like relationships, and relationships you broke it down, like your relation to somebody or how you guys relate to each other. I personally don't like to use the term relationships anymore, just based off how things are structured currently. I like to use the term partnership. Because when it comes to like me pursuing or trying to acquire a romantic partner or a person, I'm looking for more of a partnership type of dynamic, And I say that because I was listening to this podcast earlier today. The woke mystics, love them, but it's more on like the spirituality tip. Yeah. And they were talking or like breaking down like different types of like soul connections. So it's like your soulmate, your twin flame, all that type of jazz. And something key stood out to me that they said, and it basically said, you have soulmates, and like the generalized, like social aspect of soulmates. Everyone would think like soulmates are the people like you marry, that's your person, this and the third. Yeah. But what they fail to realize, the soulmate, that's not it. The way I have come to understand the term of soulmates is that these people come into your life, okay, to teach you something. Okay? And if we're looking in the spiritual and like us being like spiritual beings and souls that are just being recycled over time, you know, this person is meant to teach you something that you failed to learn in the last lifetime. Okay? They come in to teach you a lesson to kind of help you build your character and all types of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they said something that really stood out to me. And they said, let's be real. You know, the original soulmate is yourself. See? So when you look at it and when you spin it, you know, the original soulmate is yourself. And that is the whole point of touching on your points about like people holding themselves accountable and all that stuff. You know, your first love should be yourself. And that going into what I like to call these partnerships. Because like you said, the way everything's evolving and like the consciousness people are starting to walk with now and all that, it's like the traditional constructs don't work for us anymore. Why? Because we're more aware and we're breaking things down. You need to be 1,010% good with yourself, and not even 1,010%, because there's always going to be room for improvement. You're always going to be growing and learning new things. You're always still going to be continuing to, you know, unlearn, you know, bad habits and to still work towards like or work through your traumas. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't believe in the whole concept of being 1,010% perfect for this other person. You're going to show up imperfect. Why? Because as human beings, we're all flawed by design.
Nobody's perfect. We are designed in flaw. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically the way I spin it. So it's like you just getting to know yourself and not being scared to be alone and to really sit there and be uncomfortable with yourself for a sec and really figure out what you need out of somebody else is going to make it way easier to just maneuver in these types of like, you know, environments. You know, me right now, I'm not interested in dealing with anybody just because everyone's just stressing me out. Like, yo, these dudes out here just chop, bro. And there's nothing, there's no spiritual hoo-ha I can throw in their corner for them to understand what I'm looking for. They're pulling up being like, you don't want my piece? What do you mean? What are you talking about? You want my piece? Demon time.
What do you mean? What do you mean you want a partner? What the fuck's a partner, dog? You're not trying to throw it back for a nigga? Like, what's good? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting here.
You're not trying to pop that pussy for a real nigga? Like,
and I'm sitting here, and I'm sitting there looking at them like, honestly, if you came at me correct, I would have definitely threw it back. But because you fucked up like this, I'm biting myself because I really want to, but I can't because you're being dumb.
Fellas, listen up.
Don't be like this. Don't pull up sideways and be like, so what do you mean? You're talking to me about all this stuff. Whoa, slow it down. Bro, I bought you dinner, so like, I'm not trying. You're not trying to fight? Like, I'm trying to understand. I don't understand where you. Partnership? What? You need this? Your love language is what? Your attachment style is what? Huh?
Yo, it's just all your DMX is cheese over there, dog.
Pressed. They're like, I'll be dead ass. I just want to fuck. You're not just trying to fuck? And I'm like, yo, sex is fun. Sex is great. There's nothing wrong with sex. Everyone deserves to have it and enjoy it. But like, the way I view it, especially me doing the healing work that I have been doing personally for myself, and just really like reconnecting with like who I am and like really just like, you know, figuring it out. Like, sex to me isn't the cherry on top the way I used to hold it before. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me,
no, for sure.
That's not my main objective to getting with somebody. I'm not trying to tear your pants off.
Nope.
You know, what I do want to, you know, but my main objective is to like really sit here and honestly get to know you and see if our souls match and if we're really fucking compatible. And on a spiritual tip, if I'm so blessed and lucky to come across a damn twin flame, bro.
Okay, like, let me put it this way.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
When you find that person, it's that concept when you find that person. Just to touch on what you're saying, it's like, it could be anybody, because we're talking about relationships. Like, be it your mom, your brother, your sister, your cousin, one of your best friends you met, anyway. Any person that you relate to 100%, like, you've been in there's anybody that's on a real level. The person that you chill with and you're the most comfortable with. Your best friend. Whoever that person is in your life.
1,010% yourself. Because a lot of times when it comes to like getting to know somebody, for me personally, I'll be dead ass. I've really, you know, gone against my organic grain to try and like just be that person for somebody. You know what I mean? Like compromising my character for the sake of being attractive to the other person almost. You know, me knowing the type of things I am, or even like the way I talk, like, you know, sometimes I get down and dirty. I'm like, yo, I start busting out the fucking Scarborough slang. Yo, Shorty's pressing me, dog. Whatever. Hitting it crazy. And then I'm scared to pull up like that because man's gonna be like, oh my god, like she's really like, oh my god, like she's kind of,
but you have to just be yourself.
Different tinge. But
you just gotta
when
be
you get
yourself.
comfortable with
That's the
yourself,
thing,
you have to pull up
be yourself.
110% you all the time.
All the time.
Yep.
And if they don't fuck with it, guess
Then,
what?
yeah, they can't fuck with you
Let
because
it
it's
walk,
not fucking.
bro.
Exactly.
Don't hold on
you.
to a single person
'Cause you know
that's
why?
not aligned with you.
Guess why? It's not going to serve you.
Facts. It's not gonna, protect your energy,
You gotta
everybody.
protect your energy.
Protect your damn
It's not gonna
energy.
fucking serve you.
Don't let nobody come and fuck with you.
No, you see, even like with that being said, just to touch on your point with relating and finding that person and you know feeling like you have to compromise yourself to pursue something with this person. And I feel like, I don't know for the younger generation, but for us, I feel like that's been a main problem in a lot of our relationships in our generation, is that you know a lot of us are compromising ourselves, and basically realizing later on, holy shit, like yo, like I can't really be myself.
You've been suppressing yourself.
You know what I mean? And then that's where the arguments kick in. And then people need to acknowledge too that over time you grow and you become different.
Yeah.
Everybody changes.
We're all multifaceted.
We're multifaceted.
People need to start
change.
thinking like on a 4-dimensional plane. You stop looking at things for what they are. Think about what they were and what they're going to be. Like, you can't just look at what things are. Like,
you can't. And that's what I'm trying to say. It's like we're in this thing where we feel like, yo, you're supposed to be the same person I met because that's who I fell in love with.
No.
And like I feel like a lot of times just from talking to some of the men them and hearing my homegirls speak, they'll be telling me shit and it's like, well, fam, like I'm not, like if we've been together for 5 years and I met you when I was like 25, I'm 30 now. How am I if I'm the same person that I was when 25, something's wrong with me. That's how I look.
And that's major facts.
Something's wrong with me. And I feel like there's some people, and people need to understand in a relationship that even though you guys are together and your lives are connected, your personal growth is still your own personal growth. Yeah. And you have your roads to rock and you're going to go on a journey. And as a person, if you notice your partner or however you want to call them, in your relationship is elevating or going on a journey. It's not for you to sit by and be envious. It's not for you to sit by and hinder them. Seek to understand the journey that they're on and see if you can support them. And if you can't, then you guys have to have a mature conversation and understand that, you know, maybe we need to part ways. Maybe now we've grown apart. And that is a natural thing because you see it in friendships all the time.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? You see it in friendships all the time where you may still have mad love for this person. You may still have mad respect for this person, but you don't see them for years. You don't speak to them on the regular, but when you see them, it's all love. People need to like stop harboring ill feelings in relationships and learn to let people go. So when I hear monogamy is dead, I think going back to your point where you're saying you're giving kudos to the older generation, they would stick it out sometimes negatively. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you don't have to stick it out and you don't have to wait for it to boil over and become a thing where you resent this person.
Exactly.
It's just about communication. This is why they go all the way back. Communication is key.
It's key.
And I feel like now that we're in a more, I don't want to use the term liberal, but in a more liberated or more radical time where we're all very open about sexuality and lust. I think now people are leading with that and then trying to find each other out and not ready to have those mature conversations, especially when you're in your early 20s. Because I can tell you right now, a lot of the relationships I have in my early 20s, if I'm looking back on them, I was like, that was some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like,
does it even count?
Does it even count at this point? And that's why, like, even now, me, it's more like, and I know this could lead into something else, but it's more like, I just want to know. And I feel like it's hard as a man. I can only speak for men. Neeks, I can't really speak for women on this one. But as a man pursuing a woman now, I have a way where it's like, I know she might like me off hops. But even though she likes me, or even though I like her, I don't even just want to jump into anything. I'm like, yo, I like you. I like spending time with you. Trying to chill you. But I don't want to be, I guess I'm in a space where it's like, if I do this again, if I'm in a relationship again, this is it. Like, I'm not trying to do I'm with you for 2-3 months. Then I'm with this person for 2-3 months. I'm not trying to do all that. And I think people are trying to have these serious relationships, but yet they're only like 2 months long. I think you just got to know what it is off the bat when you're going into it. You know what? Let's just make this organic. If we work out, we work out. If we realize we're not really feeling it, let's part ways. And I don't think we should harbor, again, animosity towards each other when we're doing that.
And hold so much pressure in, like, making whatever new partner you come across the partner. You know what I mean? I think that's a lot of the issues with, like, our generation and with, like, you know, this next generation coming up is, like, you know, a lot of people, because they're walking with so much hurt and, you know, they're weary, you know, if they do come across somebody new and it ends up going in a really good direction, they put so much energy into trying to make that person the person. And I have a lot of female friends that talk about this. You know, one of my girls, she's always saying, you know, she's been on the, you know, online dating tip, you know, this new generation, this new way of dating, interacting with people, right, the swipe right and the left, all that bullshit, whatever. So basically she's saying now, you know, she's gone on a couple of dates and she got into one relationship from the app, you know, and, you know, the relationship obviously ended and she was mad hurt about it. That this, that, and the third, what else is new? And now she's saying, you know, she's been going on a couple of dates. Now she's hitting me with the whole, I'm really tired, I'm exhausted. You know, the next person that, like, decides that they want to be my person, it's wrap. I have to marry them. I'm like, well, why? She's like, I just have to. I'm just sick of it. I'm tired. Like, they have to work. I can't do this again. And I feel like that, you know, I feel like that type of, you know, mindset, I understand it. And I've personally felt a lot of that before. But, like, it's also you limiting yourself as a human being, too. It's like, it's not really you speaking. I think a lot of us are speaking from a lot of the hurt. And you start to even, like, you know, recollect a lot of the painful experiences we have, you know, collected. And just throw our hands in the air and be like, yo, bro, I'm this close to giving up. I'm this close to this. Listen, if this next one doesn't work out, it's a wrap. I'm going to be solo for the rest of my life. This, that, and the third. It's like, no, I feel like we really are, you know, unintentionally capping ourselves off to, like, the real shit that we all deserve, the real type of love that we all, you know, deserve and desire, that connection we're all pining for, and this, that, and the third. And what it really comes down to, you know, what a lot of people, I think, the hard pill to swallow for this generation, and for ours too, is just like the concept of vulnerability, like, and also everyone's walking with closed hearts. You know, the whole point of this experience with connecting with people and all that stuff, your heart's gonna break a couple of times. Let's be dead ass. Like, it's not gonna be smooth sailing every time. You're gonna be fading in and out of people, natural, no friction, nothing. No, it's legit. How do you experience all this hurt and still remember to keep your heart open? That's a challenge that we have to kind of, like, overcome and face, to be able to lock into, you know, that ideal partner or that dream connection and to really find that person. Because if you're walking with your heart capped, right, your perfect person could be standing right in front of you and you won't know what the fuck to do with this person.
Of course, it's not.
And you'll fucking throw the whole thing away. Why? Because you're refusing to open yourself up again.
But you know what? That's cool though. That's fine. You shouldn't go to that person if that's how you feel. No, at that point in time, if you're capped off, fix yourself before you dive in with anybody.
And facts, and to touch on that, the way I view it, you're gonna find your partner in the process of you finding yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it has to pop. So that's basically that. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we're not going to tap into, you know, these great, you know, partnerships without, you know, doing the work for ourselves.
Okay, hold on. Before you even go on, that's how I want to touch it.
Yeah.
Before we can continue, to actually wrap this, how do we feel that monogamy, like, what can we do right now in this generation to make monogamy a realistic concept?
I feel like there are different
I think the rules have to change.
Right, the rules have to change, and I also feel like there are different, like, relationship types, and at this point, you know, there's different studies about, like, everyone's attachment style based off, like, you know, your upbringing and all that stuff. I feel like with that, I feel like the construct of having a monogamous relationship is still very much active for some. I know a lot of people, myself included, I would prefer at this point, after experiencing something that was more fluid and open, to now be more geared towards something that's more on the monogamous tip. But, you know, I feel like what Dizzy was saying, the rules would have to be tweaked or changed just a little bit. Like, I feel like, you know, it shouldn't be like you are here for this person anymore. Like, still be your individual selves. And it's basically like twisting your mindset to, like, you know, how do I add to your experience? How do I add to this person's life? What pros am I adding to them? You know, and that's how you view it. Like, I'm not looking at it in, like, a sense of, like, what do I gain from this person? It's not about what you gain. It's what are you adding to this person's experience? That's how we should really shift the focus.
That's really
and
what
then that, we're going to align the behaviors, and everything's going to be, like, working more towards our advantage and our goal to, like, find this companion. You know what I'm saying? Facts. Like, instead of being like, what can you give me, you know, on this greed tip that society's putting on us, you know? Switch it and be like, what can I add to you?
Exactly. What can I offer you? What can I add to your life?
What are you going to add?
And all these people, we're all go-getters within the city. Everyone's establishing a lot of things for themselves. So it's like, you really can't add anything that's like traditional, like money, this and the third, though people still accept it. It's like, no, what's above and beyond? What is the purpose of this partnership? What are you really adding to this person?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't want to hear anyone argue about, like, what do you bring to the table? It's not about what you bring to the table, it's what you're adding.
That's what you're adding,
What do you bring to the damn potluck, bro?
You know, you come with your glad bag.
Come with the shits, bro. You're bringing sodas? Yo, we don't have anyone bringing sodas. Let's go.
None of that raisin salad shit, though.
Yo, but sometimes that's what it is. Like, and now, okay, this is another point. I don't know if it's. I don't know if it will transpire into something else. But what I want to ask is, like, okay, a lot of women now with the pursuit, do you think that it will evolve to women pursuing men now as equally as men are pursuing women? Mm-hmm. And if so, does that change the dynamics of, you know, some women now are like, yo, I want to be with a man who's already stable financially, has things going with him already, and da-da-da. Or, you know what I mean? Whereas men don't really have that type of... We can't even look at stuff through that lens. It's kind of like, we know that at the end of the day, we got to provide to some degree, right? Because so women are on this thing. Women are elevating at alarming rates, which is a positive, you know, to all the women out there. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's a great thing. So, it's like, now, I've been speaking with a lot of ladies, especially women of the Afro diaspora. And, you know, a lot of them are shying away from, you know, the guy who has ambition and is trying to do something. He may not be there yet, but he has a goal he's trying to hit. And a lot of them have this attitude, well, he shouldn't be talking to me then. Or, you know what I mean? And having this kind of, they're looking for a certain thing, but it's kind of like, is that idea of building gone? Like, with monogamy being dead, is that kind of leaving? Is the idea of building something, two individuals coming together and trying to elevate together, gone? You know what I mean?
Yo, actually, I love that what you said, and that's why, to be honest, in my personal experience, with when you said some of those girls saying those things where they say like, oh, then you shouldn't be with me. Like, I touched on this a little bit. I said like, yo, you really gotta like heal yourself. Like what Neeks said earlier. She said, you're your own like soulmate, right? So essentially, you gotta heal yourself. You gotta nurture yourself, build yourself up, be the best person you can possibly be before you present yourself to somebody else. Like, I believe that. Like, and the concept of building with somebody right now in this day and age, I'm gonna be real and say this. Even my personal experience being a failure of being able to fucking achieve for myself as a man right now based on societal pressures. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
No, as a man, like, this is what you have to realize. As a man, no matter what, your role is to provide, fam.
Yeah, for sure.
No, hold on. Your role should be to provide for your fucking self.
Take care of yourself,
right? That's the role. You need to be able to provide for your fucking self, right? Do the best you possibly can to do that. Secure the most you want out of your life. Try to achieve those things. That's what you do.
Yeah,
I agree with that. And you said, and you get yourself to the best possible place you can be. Because truth be told, like, I'm gonna be real, like, you can't be with a shorty unless like you're solid.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't hold down a family unless you're solid. And you go get a solid shorty who's also a solid person who's going to build with you. But you guys both have to be solid. Like, let me put it this way. Let me just break it down because I don't want to sound too crude. But on the infrastructure of a building, both beams got to be fucking solid, strong in the ground. You know what I'm saying? To be able to build a proper foundation to build that house up. That's all I'm saying. So, like, you're looking for that next person. Yeah. You try to be the best motherfucker you possibly can be. First, like, that's how I feel. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Now, is there something lost on... for men, do we, like, for example, I always said the trade-off, a lot of times I'm finding, and I could be wrong, that some women feel that the fact that they're sleeping with you is enough.
Oh,
you hear what I'm saying?
Oh.
And no, and this is just real shit. This is from me just in passing, talking to people.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Some women
takes.
feel like that.
Talk to
It's true, exactly.
No, as a female.
I didn't get to go on vacation this year. It's okay, baby. Have some pussy.
You know what I mean? Like, and they look at
You
it
had
like,
a bad day?
like, what do you, like, I have to come
Birthday
to the
present?
table with this
Pussy.
X, Y, and Z.
Right.
But it's just like, then it's just like, well, I'm
Pussy.
giving you pussy, so, like,
More
what's
pussy.
up? Not to say that she doesn't
Pussy
have things
again.
going on for her. I'm just speaking on the fact that some women feel that the fact that they're fucking because of this liberating thing, like, men are now like, but you're cussing every minute. You're giving me bare stress. That's why, it comes back to what you're saying. What are you going to add to the experience?
Exactly.
A lot of women, from my experience, I can only speak as a man, take away from the experience because you have to, they feel that they're already, they're the prize. They're giving you sex and whatever. You need to provide X, Y, and Z to make her feel comfortable in the space. And then when you try to say, you know, well, I appreciate it if you communicated with me more. And you try to teach her how you want to maneuver in the relationship. It's like it's an issue. And I feel like a lot of men, especially in our community, are dealing with that. And I'm not talking about the ain't shit guys and all that stuff. Because I know that's the first thing. Oh, niggas ain't shit, I'm talking about men who are actually out there, have ambition, even if he's working that 9 to 5, actually putting in work, actually trying to do something, and is doing right by his girl. But then there's just a lot of kickback because she feels, yo, like I'm doing my part already.
Pussy.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So what do you have to say?
I hear that. So my whole view on all that, basically, I feel like it is very possible, and this is also a call out to women because y'all need to chill and fix the fuck up. This is a shorty telling you. Don't hate me. But this is what I'm going to say, and it's an all love type of flex, but I feel like being a female, my number one responsibility is to fix up for me, to have my shit organized for me, to make the money for me, to get my crib for me. You know what I'm saying? That should be with the way they want to build up this radical, forward-thinking, sexually liberated, all-type bad bitch female archetype. Y'all can't be sitting on old traditional views about how the man still has to pull up and do everything for you. You just throw it back for a nigga one time, once a week, twice a week, every day maybe. You don't care. But
we like it though.
You know what I'm saying? Of course. But what I will add to that is talking about, that, and I heard that from lots of guys, that frustration with they don't know what to do with women. All these women are asking, demanding for so much. And you guys feel like you're stretched thin. You don't know what the fuck to do. You're scared to pull up to a shorty that you think is cute or you actually like because you're looking at your pockets. You're like, oh, I can't take her nowhere nice or buy her no fancy clothes, nothing. No, all that's trash. This is what I have to say about that. If me as a female, me doing my shit and I'm working towards my personal goals and dreams, you as a male can still be working towards your goals and dreams and have that ambition, and me rocking with my ambition too. But this is the thing that I'm going to touch on. Basically, it's if you're focused on yourself and what you build upon, it shouldn't matter what the fuck homeboy has. Why? You need to switch that mindset around. I can't be pulling up being like, oh, yo, these bum ass niggas, y'all ain't do nothing for me. Oh, you broke. Oh, you still work at Foot Locker, bro. Yo, what's good? I don't know. That's not. That can't be the energy that we pull up with. We can't be walking with that energy because that's not fair. Because in the same breath, women get really hurt when the man flips the script and says, okay, so what's on your plate? What you got? What's working for you? Shorty's sitting on her ass at home. Okay, she's thinking her looks are going to drive her through the rest of her life, right? Shit. If she has a banging body, she's not stressed or pressed. That's not how it works. A female with ambition, the whole new archetype that we're trying to build for ourselves, should be able to just not be so reliant on the male role. And this is how we're tying into whole, rewriting these structures for ourselves. Going back to it, what are you adding to this experience? I feel like you as a man should not feel so pressed or stressed about you just personally working on your ones with your ambition, driving your shit box beater car and doing your shit. Why? Because that shouldn't matter to me. Because why? I like you and I'm working on my shit on my end. And when we connect, we fucking connect. And we're adding to the experience at the stage. And that's how you grow to build that empire, to build that shit with each other. You don't just pull up to a success made nigga and just expect as a female with nothing on her plate to just be chill off that. That for me the way I'm wired, I can't sit there and take that. I'm sorry, but I can't accept that. I want to be on my own ones and twos. So if anyone looks at me and I'm like, oh, he's great, he's this, he's doing all this, you can also look at me on his arm being like, oh shit, but she's also doing this, this, and this. Shit. Power couple. My God. Kill it. You know? So it's like, I feel like it's kind of like a challenge for like us women to kind of like, you know, wrap our heads around and to stop walking with all this damn entitlement just because, you know, pussy power is everything. I'm not gonna lie to you, the pussy is very powerful. It is. But you can't use that as a leading, driving force in your dating life, like in the way you make your living. You have to have something else going for yourself, sis. Otherwise, it's just not gonna work. Okay? Period. We're trying to elevate and build ourselves. Okay? And we're not trying to fall off. And also, the whole concept of women being the prize, we're personally objectifying ourselves by saying that. That's just how I view it. I'm not a prize for shit. Okay? I'm adding to your damn experience, and that's that. Period.
All right.
Facts. Okay. Shit, my nigga.
Shit, that was.
Listen, none of you guys come from my fucking sister either. I don't want to hear none of that shit either. Yeah. It's cool.
I'm showing you, but like, no, but in all, like, that's just what it is. Like, I feel like just to kind of wrap everything up, I feel like, you know, monogamy, the traditional monogamy as we knew it I think is gone, and I think. There's people that still practice it, still want it, but I think I think now we're just in a place where everyone's trying to navigate what they want, and pretty soon there's going to be new norms set, and I think that's where, based off of everything that I've heard, I think that's where it is. I just think that now, I think it's important that people understand that monogamy isn't this societal gauge of rules and what to expect. I think it's what you decide with your partner, and the two of you build yourselves up, take care of yourselves. And like you've been saying, Neeks, add to each other's experiences. Do not take away. If you feel like things are being taken away in your experience, you know, you guys should be mature enough to address that and part ways if need be. Of course, and I think that's where we need to be at. That's my last take on it.
So in totality, be honest with yourself. Be true to yourself. Be true to your grind. And if it doesn't serve you, make it swear. All right.
Cool.
You know them ones.
You know them ones.
Take care, everybody.